Oh, hello and welcome once more to Speakeasy. I am still Paul F. Tompkins, and my guest today is an actor with an enviable career. He has been in so many things you love, you cannot even count them or even begin to do so. Please say hello to William Fichtner. William, thank you so much for being here.
Cheers.
Please tell me I said your name correctly.
Yes, you did.
Because I've never said it out loud before.
Well, thank you.
I've seen it scroll many, many times.
So you're one of about 100.
What's the worst mangling of your last name, in print or out loud, that you've ever gotten?
When I was living in New York and working a lot out here, I would travel back and forth, and cars would pick me up at the airport, and they would have the spellings.
Right.
I would ask the guy, can I save that card? I mean, there were letters in there that, like, there was a Z in there one time. I'm like, wow. I think I had about 8 or 9 of them at some point, and then I moved and threw them all out. But yeah, no, very, very few people ever hit it right on the nose. Thank you. Like, there's no H and T.
Right.
I did fly once on Lufthansa a few years ago and checked in at JFK. And as soon as I walked up to the counter, everyone, because it's a German name, everyone said, you know, Mr. Fichtner. Consistently, no matter, and I was like, well, it's not how I say it, but thank you. Everybody's saying the same thing.
Now, you've been in a million things. Your latest movie, Wrong, is a very interesting film. I saw it the other day, and
that's an understatement.
Yes, it's a very simple film to describe. The plot is a man wakes up to find that his dog is missing, and then he tries to get his dog back. And yet the movie plays out in a much more complex way.
Sure. And
you play Master Chang, who's ostensibly helping this fellow get his dog back.
Well, it kind of helped him lose it in the first place.
Yeah, that's true too. This is a very interesting character. This is a guy who is very visually striking. Half of his face has been scarred by acid. He's got a very long, thin braided ponytail, and a very curious accent that I would say is maybe tough to pin down on a globe. Is that fair to say?
It's beyond fair to say. But then again, what is the name of the film?
Wrong.
Exactly.
Yes. How much input did you have in the creation of this character across all the aspects of it?
Well, his physical condition was in the script, and I remember when my agent sent me, said, you have to check this movie out, and they're interested, and I said, sure, and I didn't know Quentin, though I watched Rubber.
Quentin, the director.
Yes.
Whose last name I'm also terrified to pronounce.
Dupuis?
Dupuis? Why?
Please, I hope I got that right. Can somebody look that up, please, so we have that correct?
We'll dub it incorrectly later if it'd be ADR.
You know, my agent was presenting it as if, you know, somebody's interested, so I have to. And then I read it, I said, no, I really want to meet the guy.
Right.
Yeah, I just saw Rubber, and
which is another very unusual film.
The tire is crying by the fence, and it's killing people. I have to meet him. So I had a chance to go and talk to him, and you know, I spent 10 minutes with him, and I said, yeah, absolutely, love to. I mean, come on, he's a dog guru named Master Chang.
Right.
And he's a white guy. I mean,
was the accent your device? Was that your creation?
There was something about who Master Chang is. I mean, who calls themselves Master Chang? He wasn't born that way. I started getting the idea that his whole world was something that he created in the image of what he wanted to be in the world. And I, when I would read the script, I didn't feel like I could find the rhythm of the guy. And just sitting in my, as my wife calls, my man cave, having a glass of red, thinking about it, I started playing around a little bit, just with anything, any speech pattern. And some wacky little thing started going on, and it really felt like it was, I was finding the guy to whatever degree I did. Yeah, so that part of it. So then I called Quentin and I said, listen, I'm playing around a little bit with this speech thing a little bit. And he says, it sounds great, it sounds wonderful. First day, on the set, I do like 2 or 3 takes, and Quentin walks by and he says, that whole German thing you got, which I really wasn't thinking about. The German. 2 takes later, the producer walks by, he goes, I love the Italian thing. He's going, whatever, it's to whatever you want it to be.
Is it a common thing for you to try a few different things just to hear what it's like to. I mean, is it at that point that a physical thing almost takes over, that it'll make you feel more like the person that you're supposed to be?
You never know what it is. You know, sometimes it's. I remember one time I felt like I kind of found a character in the way that he walked. The way that his kind of hips kind of moved, that he had a swagger, like he thought it was really cool and it was really bad. And I thought, it's the guy. It's just the whole guy. The guy came right after that. Everything, all of a sudden, sometimes that happens. You know, the dominoes go and you just gotta, you know, pick the right thing for you.
Right. Is wardrobe ever a part of that?
I did a film once called Drowning Mona, and the wardrobe, I went to wardrobe fitting, and they went to like a truck stop, like a big truck stop. And the clothes that they sold in the truck stop, or the clothes, they bought all that and brought it in. It was perfect. One of the rare times that I kept some of the wardrobe. I would never wear it.
What? What did you
Oh yeah, I had his shirt. It was just it was horrible.
That is a very specific
It was a
style.
blue-green that is made no other place in the world but in that truck stop.
Truck stop fashion is a unique branch of
there you
of
go.
the fashion industry.
But put it on and I'm like, it's the guy.
Right.
It's the guy.
You also do a lot of voiceover work for video games. Now, you're talking about the man cave. Do you play video games?
No.
Well, I have to ask, what is in this man cave? As
No.
much as you're willing to share.
I have tires, and these are not the. Hey, don't laugh about my tires.
You literally have a set of tires?
No, I'm a huge race car fan. So I have an IndyCar tire, back wheel of a Firestone IndyCar tire. I have a tire. It is a Top Fuel dragster tire signed by Kenny Bernstein, the first Top Fuel dragster driver to go 300 miles an hour. Now his son Brandon Bernstein drives the same Top Fuel car that Kenny drove 20 years ago. They gave me a tire signed, which I'm getting a piece of glass cut so that can be like kind of like an end table in there, you know. The tire's big. It's this.
I was gonna say,
it's this high. It's this high off the ground. It's about this wide. It's a huge monster slick.
Right. And does it smell like tires in there when you go in?
Absolutely none of your business, babe. No. These are tires that have had their day. They're not, you know, fresh rubber tires. Right. I'm getting a little personal right now.
Right. Well, look, you can stop me at any time. We should have worked out a safe word.
I got tires. When I moved in this house like 7 years ago, there was an old wood shop off the garage, and I said to my wife, "The house, that's you. This is me." So anything that ever meant anything to me, I framed, put together. Get a nice flat screen, great music. You can really crank Zeppelin in there and nobody hears it. I don't know why the sound is that way, but it's great. So yeah, if I'm thinking about something or working on something, I'm usually like walking in circles in that room.
On the subject of racing, you race yourself.
I have a little bit, yeah.
This has been a passion of yours for quite some time.
Race car fan since I was a kid. Grew up near a small drag strip and oval outside of Buffalo, New York.
Now, how long from when you were a kid to when you first got in one of those cars?
Well, the first time that I actually had a chance to get into a race car was at the Grand Prix of Long Beach. That Toyota does a thing called the Pro Celebrity Race. That this year, I believe, is the 36th or 37th year of the event, which there's honestly nothing like it in the world, because not only is it a real deal race, but if you agree to do it, which a lot of people sign up, and I've done the race a few times, so I know that, you know, a lot of people sign up, and then when they realize, you know, I have to go to race car school for a week, you know, just to do it, and then I have to commit to a qualifying day and a practice day, and it's over like a month and a half, you know, days are spread out. But the deal is, they're real deal Scion race cars that are supercharged, and you're on the front stretch, you're gonna hit 120 miles an hour before you gotta start downshifting into the turns. And
so there's people who think they were just gonna show up there that day?
you know, well, no, but I think when they realize, you know, the enormity of the commitment, they kind of they back off a little bit.
Right.
But there's nothing like it, because when it comes to race day, it's the Saturday of the qualifying. The IndyCar race is on the Sunday, and at 12 noon they have this race.
Right.
There are some pro drivers in it, NASCAR guys from different motorsports that are professional. They start 30 seconds back, and then you have the celebrity field, which could be anywhere from 16 to 20 people, and usually there's 4 pro drivers, and you go. It's a 2-mile road, same road course that the Indy cars ride on, and you go. And then there's, you know, but the kicker of the whole thing is that there's 100,000 people there that day. It's like it's a real deal thing. It's great. It's great.
I'm willing to bet that the first time you broke 100 miles an hour in a car, it might not necessarily have been under those
decades ago. Just decades ago. I don't even know if I had my license when that happened.
Have you ever driven on the Autobahn?
No.
Would you?
No, and I was yes and no. I'm not a fan of like speed on the highway. My wife says to me all the time, "Would you please get along here, man? I said, where do you need to get to 3 minutes early? I don't like traveling 85 miles an hour with everybody around doing 85 miles an hour. I think it's dangerous. I do. I'd rather stay to the side. I mean,
everything in its place.
Yeah, no. You get on a track, it's another thing.
That's right.
What the cars are for, to go that speed.
So is your wife okay with you racing?
Yeah, I think she was, you know, the Long Beach thing is they're momentum cars. Yes, they go fast, but once you learn how to handle the car and don't make mistakes in that, if you get momentum going, you can do well.
Right.
You know, the first time I did the race, I was like, I think I was 22nd out of like 18. I mean, really was not working out that day. Second time I did the race, I came in fourth, and I knew when I lost 2 positions because of 2 mistakes that I made. Third time I did the race, which was 2 years ago, my whole goal in the whole thing was just don't make any mistakes.
Right.
And I won start to finish from the beginning to the end.
Fantastic.
So then I went back the following year, because if you win the race, then you go back and you race in the pro category the following year, which is a lot tougher.
Oh my God, what was that like?
It was great, except for, you know, I had a little fender bender before the race began with one of the pro drivers that really wanted to win this thing, and he did, but it was good. I ended up coming in second out of the 4 pros and
wow,
in 7th overall, I think.
But now, when you say you had a fender bender before the race started, are we talking like in the parking lot?
No, on the pace lap.
Okay.
Coming up, yeah.
All right.
He cut me off, put me in a wall. Sorry, I told him later. No, my wife doesn't mind that. But this summer we're going to do it again at Irwindale Speedway, which is a half-mile track that's about 40 miles from downtown LA, and it is the creme de la creme half-mile, like small NASCAR track. They did a thing a year and a half ago where they got 10 drivers. I think every single one of them had gone through the Long Beach event, and they were doing a thing, Kids for Cancer. And they got 10 car owners of real deal NASCAR West stock cars to donate their car. And if you wreck that car, it's going to come out of money from the proceeds, you know, from the gate, and, you know, to pay for the car. So don't wreck the cars, guys. Let's have a good race, because the better, if we don't wreck any cars, kids get more money.
Right.
And we didn't wreck on the final event. We had a couple of wrecks building up to it, but it was the biggest crowd they had the entire year, and that was Long Beach is thrilling. That was scary.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's scary in a stock car when you're coming into a bank turn.
Do you subscribe to the maxim that rubbing is racing?
You know, listen, we're not. I'm SAG, Screen Actors Guild, not NASCAR. So no, rubbing is another thing that's, you know, I don't want to do in a car.
Do you think if SAG had merged with NASCAR instead of AFTRA, we'd all be better off?
Absolutely.
Better insurance.
Are you kidding me? Can you imagine how, I mean, half the scripts would be written would be, come on now, let's get it going.
Another passion of yours is hockey. You're a big Buffalo Sabres fan.
Huge.
Are you thrilled that hockey is back?
Yeah, but I just came back after spending 4.5 months in Prague working on this European television show, and NHL was on strike. The Czech Republic, their national sport is hockey. Not big towns. They have 14 teams in the league. It's only a country of 10 million people.
Right.
So I was seeing hockey when the NHL was, when they were, you know. And then as soon as the strike ended, I think 27 players from the Czech league came back to the NHL.
So they had, well, not defected is not the right term, but while they were
everybody did that. Everybody did that.
Right.
You know, Swedish players went back. They played in the leagues in Sweden and Finland and the Czech Republic, and, and everybody went home.
Right.
Even Patrick Kane, who's from Buffalo, the star of the Chicago Blackhawks, he played somewhere in Europe, and I'm not sure where. But a lot of guys wanted to keep it going.
Did you have buddies back home that were also hockey fans? You were rubbing it in their faces that you were.
I would send them pictures. I would.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Sure I did.
I do want to talk about the video game acting. You've done Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. I believe you play a lawyer in a Grand Theft Auto game?
It's a long time ago, buddy. Yeah.
I'm somewhat familiar with Grand Theft Auto. Are there courtroom scenes?
It's not that kind of video. It's not a training game.
Right. It's not a procedural.
No.
Is this a sweet gig for you to just walk into a recording booth and?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I did Call of Duty, and I remember when you know I got the offer for it, and I was like, that's really good. And they said we're gonna record it over 6 weeks.
Right.
I'm like, well, why don't we just do it like 6 days in a row and just be done with it? And then I went to the first day to record, and they start off with like 10 or 15 lines where you talk, and then you get the 40 or 50 lines where you're really loud, and then you blow it up, and then you scream.
Right.
And I did 1 2-hour session and walked out, and I was like, I'll see you guys in a week. 'Cause there's a reason why they spread it out.
Did you feel that you should have done Wii tennis instead?
No, but
A golf game?
I do play Wii golf.
How are you at Wii golf?
I'm not bad.
Has that controller ever slipped out of your hand and hit the TV screen?
No, but it happened once, I think, when they're playing the tennis.
That's why they give you that strap.
Who uses the strap? Come on.
You have an incredible resume. You've done like everything. I'd just like to go through your selected filmography and just give me your immediate impression when I say certain titles.
Sure.
As the World Turns.
Josh, the misunderstood farmhand.
That was your character?
I said the same line for the first 7 months. I can explain. That's all I said. I came to a town and everybody hated me. That's all I said. People going, you're disgusting. I can explain.
Now, you also played Rod as well?
I changed my name when I met my real dad. You know, why are you doing this to me, buddy?
Oh, but was working on a soap, I mean, was that an amazing training ground? Because
I was on it about a month when I asked the executive producer, I'm good, so is there any way to... Boy, that went over real big. Man, he ripped me a new one, and I said, I'm sorry. Just whenever you can work it out, I'd like to go.
Right.
It took 2 years for them to work it out, but they did come to me because it was a 3-year contract. After 2 years, and they said, you still want to go? Because there's an opportunity for you to marry your cousin, and then you could leave on the show. This is for real. So I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. But I will tell you this much: the first 6, 7 months I was on the show, I swore that boom was picking up my heartbeat because I was just like. I was so nervous being in front of a camera. By the time I left that show, you spend so much time and every day, 4 or 5 days a week, that now I find no place that gives me greater peace than having 200 people around at a camera like this far away.
Right.
And I know it's all of it began.
Yeah.
And being on As the World Turns.
Right.
So I married my cousin and I left.
So it turns out those people were right about Josh. He was kind of disgusting.
I don't want to talk about it.
Malcolm X.
Never in it.
Really?
Yeah, never in it.
Is that a mistake on your IMDb?
Yeah, one of those things that's on IMDb. I was hired to play a scene, and the day before we shot it, I got the call they cut the scene. So they had to pay me, and it ended up on something, and it always stuck there, and I've mentioned to people you should really take that off. But
do you have people that swear they saw you in the movie? Has anyone?
I don't think I've had that. No, I get a lot of other things like "Love you in Independence Day, man." Wasn't in it. Thank you.
Who are they even confusing you for?
I don't know. Alien.
Heat.
You know what I always remember about Heat was that I did a film called Virtuosity. It didn't really work, and like 90% of what I did in the film was cut. And what was horrible about it was that what they strung together with the character was really out of context a lot.
Right.
So it really didn't make any sense.
Right.
I was like, oh God. Anyway, the next job that I got was Heat, and I remember reading that script, and my agent saying it's only 5 scenes, but I said, but it's 5 scenes you can't cut.
Right. There you go.
You can't cut those 5 scenes. You need every one of them. And I said, sure.
Contact.
Changed the way I work on things because up until Contact, for a guy like me, you'd get a job, it would be a week or 2 before you start shooting. I got hired for Contact like 2.5 months before production started, for whatever reason. I remember being so thrilled that I had this sort of time to prepare. I was playing a blind character. And I was living on the Upper West Side of New York, and I went right to the Jewish Guild for the Blind on 65th Street, and I walked through the front door, and a guy named Rich Paddock took care of like volunteers there, and I said, Rich, I'm playing this film and I want to get it right. And I'll do anything. And he spent 2 or 3 days a week for the next month and a half with me.
Wow. Talking
about things, doing things. He wrote a book on cane technique, stuff that I never ended up needing in the film.
He wrote a book on cane technique.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a good thing because you know what? Contact taught me the joy. I mean, I have more joy in the preparation than oftentimes, the actual shooting of something. And I was really grateful for that time in Contact.
The perfect storm.
A lot of Dramamine. I'm serious.
You were out on the boat for
right in
long?
Burbank, right at Warner Brothers, on that gimbal on that boat. Give me the wristbands, give me the Dramamine.
Do you think it was worse than if you had actually been
there's nothing like being out at sea. I don't know if you get seasick, but I took a lot of Dramamine.
Did those wristbands actually work?
I don't know which worked because I did them all.
Right.
You were
not taking any chances.
I was not going to get sick.
Yeah. And did you?
No.
There we go.
Never did. And I got teased by everybody else, but I watched everybody else, I think, throw up over the side of that boat. I still keep in touch with the people that own the Crow's Nest, the real bar in Gloucester, Mass.
Have you been back since?
Many times.
Many times, really?
Yeah, well, my son goes to school in Bowdoin in Maine, and I'm due for a visit there to visit Greg and Marianne.
William Fichtner, thank you so much for joining us. A pleasure to chat with you, and please be safe.
And you too.
Thank you. No one ever says you too. Well, that is it for this edition of Speakeasy. We will see you next time when my guest will be a different person. It doesn't smell like tires in that man cave. A little bit, right?
But I love that. I love the rubber.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check back every Monday to see who I interview next. And for more info about Speakeasy, visit mademan.com.